the hits just keep coming for Microsoft, and the pain keeps coming for Sony and PlayStation. Who would have thought that we'd be in this kind of situation, especially after last generation, where it looked like Microsoft couldn't get out of their own way, and now it seems like they have almost unlimited money to do as they please. Now, some people are going to look at this as one way, and some people are going to look at it as another way. I can see very well right now a lot of people look at Sony and feel a little bit sorry for them. Bottom line is they can't afford to do a deal similar to this, although they're not in any real danger of anything negative happening to them so far. A lot of people buy PlayStation based on the great PlayStation exclusives, and it looks like Sony will continue to do that. The only thing that I can say that looks like has changed when it comes to PlayStation is a few of the following. One thing is, it's almost like the media badgers Sony to put all their exclusives on PC day and date now, just because Microsoft does it, based on the reception of like God of War and how well their games seem to do. But the thing is, given that the reception for a game like God of War, which was 4 years old, on PC afterwards, that's not incentive to put a day and date on PC as well as their platform, especially since they're a hardware company. Now, when it comes to something like this, I think the Bethesda thing, I think that hurts, but I don't think it hurts as much as some people think. And then you have the Activision thing, which I think, the biggest thing there would be Call of Duty. I know Diablo is pretty big, but I'm not sure how big Diablo is on console. I think it's very much a PC thing. But when it does come down to what Microsoft and Sony are doing, we have to look at things and go, well, Microsoft is really brute forcing their way into it. Maybe it doesn't even have much to do with Sony, but just them kind of preemptively going out there and doing these big moves to beat Google, Amazon, and these other companies to the punch. Now, when it comes down to Sony, they've had a bad week. There's no other way to say it. And now there's this another bit of announcement that came out that I think kind of sums up how bad the week actually is for them. And it's going to be a video you don't want to miss, trust me. Hey there everyone, I'm the Crapgamer, and of course this is Crapgamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice a few cool changes around here, and hopefully that doesn't stop you from giving us a like and possibly maybe even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It does mean a lot to me, and all I ask is a simple like. That really honestly is it. I put a lot of work into these videos and time and effort and stuff like that, and it would just really help me out a lot if you could help give a like. That would actually change it could change my entire channel around if you think about it. So honestly, don't ever think any otherwise. Content creators need likes. I know it sounds silly, but it just honestly is basically how YouTube works. Now, when it comes down to this, it's crazy to think about this, right? So Sony's stock shares have fallen by 13%, which equals roughly $20 billion since Microsoft announced its plans to acquire Call of Duty publisher Activision for $68 billion and change. The sharp drop in market value represents Sony's biggest loss since October 2008, removing $20 billion from the company's value in just one day. However, stock value is expected to recover in due course. Of course, this is simply how the stock market reacts to such major news. It always has done, and it will always do so. Interestingly enough, Microsoft's stock value also took a slight hit. It is, after all, intending to spend $68+ billion, and the news has negatively impacted its value too. Microsoft bought Activision at $95 per share, which when it is totaled to $68 billion, means the company paid around 45% above Activision's stock price prior to the announcements. There was some positive news for other major publishers, however. Shares at Square Enix, Capcom, and Konami all rose by 5%, while Ubisoft went up 11%. Perhaps shareholders see the company as the next potential targets for a takeover. The deal is expected to close at some point next year, but we believe, it spells different, pretty much bad news for PlayStation owners, right? Especially if Microsoft decide to sort of make the games exclusive to the Xbox platform. Now, the interesting part about this is Microsoft gave encouraging assurances on the Activision Blizzard deal to try and get this thing to pass and be allowed to happen in the first place, because a lot of people are maybe hoping that that it's some kind of something happens where Microsoft won't be allowed to go through with this, and they would rather keep, the games exclusive or whatever, and or not exclusive. And I think people want the games on Xbox and PlayStation, and in a lot of ways that makes a lot of sense. And like I said, Microsoft was giving some assurances that games would possibly be multi-plat still. So I think we'll have to wait and see how that kind of works out. But this is very interesting to say the least, and it looks like Microsoft has already begun testing the waters with what's going on, because the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal will surely undergo regulatory scrutiny given its enormous size, which is the biggest acquisition in the U.S. since 2019's Bristol Myers Squibb deal. It looks like Microsoft is testing the waters, according to the Washington Post. U.S. Congressman Ken Buck saying that the Seattle-based tech giant has already provided what he describes as encouraging assurances on the matter. They've suggested that they're going to emphasize access to titles and competition in the marketplace, as well as the individual gaming experiences. Now, Ken Buck, who is a lawyer by trade and a politician elected to represent Colorado's 4th Congressional District in the lower house of Congress as a Republican, is considered one of the foremost antitrust enforcement proponents in his party. To have his early approval certainly means something, even though it'll still be far from smooth sailing in terms of Microsoft and this being a sure thing. For example, Alex Harmon, a competition policy advocate for Public Citizen, stated, "Once again, Microsoft, one of the biggest of the tech companies, is shamelessly gobbling up a competitor to try and strengthen its market position. No way should the Federal Trade Commission and the U.S. Department of Justice permit this merger to proceed." While Krista Brown, a senior policy analyst for the anti-monopoly group Americans Economics Liberties, added, "Although Microsoft has remained out of the antitrust hot seat, there is no less deserving of an oversight. This transaction should trigger renewed scrutiny." For his part, Microsoft head of gaming Phil Spencer highlighted the exceedingly competitive market in the gaming industry, saying, "This is an incredibly competitive marketplace in the gaming space. The truth is, the largest gaming platform on the planet are the mobile devices out there. Distribution on those contents control on those devices. It's controlled by two companies. So you look at a company like Microsoft, and we're bringing together content and IP to offset the distribution capabilities we don't have on mobile devices. This is our opportunity to fight to compete on the largest platform out there in gaming, which is on mobile devices. That's critically important to us, and also, as Bobby said, we have more creators on our platform than we've ever had. We have games coming from all over. We have games coming from publishers like EA, Activision, Take-Two, but you also look at a lot of homegrown games from small teams that are able to reach global scale because of distribution that they're finding on PC and gaming consoles. It's an incredibly vibrant space right now." Going back to Buck's quote, it's yet another indication that Microsoft may well avoid securing all Activision Blizzard as exclusives for its platforms, as pointed out by rumors and official sources alike, not to mention suggested by analysts. Such a move could prove instrumental in passing the scrutiny of regulators, as it would show them that massive games like the behemoth Call of Duty will still be available on platforms not owned or controlled by Microsoft. According to sources cited by the New York Post, it is presently unclear whether the Department of Justice or Federal Trade Commission will handle the merger. Ordinarily, it would fall under the DOJ's purview, but Assistant Attorney General Jonathan Cantor previously worked as a legal advisor for Microsoft for more than a decade. This could force Cantor to recuse himself, although that doesn't necessarily mean the deal wouldn't be handled by the FTC, as perceived as comparatively harsher in the review work instead. As a reminder, Microsoft and Activision Blizzard are hoping to close a deal by June 2023. If it doesn't go through, Microsoft will have to pay Activision Blizzard between $2 and $3 billion under the agreed terms anyway. So, yeah, all very interesting stuff. For me personally, it looks like it probably will go through. It's something that, us as gamers will have to deal with. But if they're saying, hey, let's, we'll keep Call of Duty and we'll keep these big, huge games on PlayStation, if that'll help it go through, then they'll have to abide by that and they'll have to do that. So again, it really kind of depends on where you're at on this whole situation. I feel like Microsoft has probably run this, and I've mentioned this multiple times, they've probably run this by their lawyers multiple times now, and we'll have to wait and see how it works out. But for me personally, I feel like, I hope you know, if you ask me what I hope that Call of Duty remains available everywhere, just because I'm a fan of the franchise, and I'm a fan of it just being kind of an institution for gamers everywhere, right? If you want to know what I'm talking about when I say that, I mean, you know, look, this game is basically a game that has absolutely selling like gangbusters every single year, and it's honestly something that so many people just love to play and love to kind of talk about and things like that. I think that's what I think people want to be. And I know, like, look, you're not doing Xbox any favors by wagging your finger and saying, hey, it's exclusive to Xbox, it'll be exclusive to Xbox, right? I get it, but it's not doing anybody any favors. That's actually not helping the industry. I think the industry needs big hits like, you know, Call of Duty and things like that. I think it definitely needs that. So, you know, hopefully we get some kind of idea about what's going to happen. And you know what? It's just very exciting regardless. So let me know what you guys think. I will, you know, link this all in the description. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.